Like I was communicating earlier, welcome all of you to this meeting. I am very sure that we are going to have an interesting session this afternoon. And I would like to assure all the participants that, yes, after this training, you're going to have a certificate. We have heard that question being asked. And also we would want you to register for attendance today, and we shall be continuously putting the link for Google Docs where you're supposed to register, so that we'll be able to capture your information, your name, your email address, and the phone number, which is very important for us to be able to assign you a certificate after this training. So you bear with us. I know in the chats we shall be having a lot of communication, but we shall also keep on trying to send you the link for you to register. And also I want to remind you that in the event that you are unable to get us in this webinar, you can also join us on our YouTube link. You just go to YouTube and type Forum Network. You should be able to follow us on the training on YouTube. So I would like to hand over to my colleagues. Okay, yeah, I was waiting for Professor Rogerio. I would like to hand over to Professor Rogerio to give some brief remarks before we start. Professor, over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's really a pleasure to have you again here attending this class. Let's make use of this training so that we can really contribute to agricultural transformation in Africa. I will not be attending the first time of the course because I have to give classes, but later on I will join you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. I would like to now welcome our facilitators, Dr. Helen Namaweje, Dr. Thomas Odong, and Professor Susan Balaba. Over to you, Dr. Helen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Dear participants, you're welcome for day 2 session. I believe it's going to be interesting than yesterday. You need just to pay attention, practice, as I said, and if you get an error, you can always copy the error and paste it in Google and get a solution, because there are so many people getting the same error. That's how you gain confidence in using R. Thank you very much. I hand over to Dr. Helen Namaweje to continue with today. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to have you for day 2. Hope you're going to enjoy. Just a recap of what we did yesterday. We're able to know what R is and what RStudio is. Let me just share this. Okay. So we further went ahead to download R and RStudio. What is R? Why R? How are the two different? We did the installation using different procedures, depending on what is easy for you to use. Then we've managed to see the workspace of R and RStudio. Some of us had R already, but we had to upload to a newer version, which I mentioned was 4.3.1, and the different ways on how you can update R. Went further ahead to see how can we update RStudio. And then we also looked at R and its associated packages, if you remember yesterday, and I gave you an assignment of making sure that you download the required packages that we're going to use today. So I went ahead to see the different procedures on how you can install R packages. Depending on what is easy for you, it's what you can pick up. You can install packages one at a time, or you can install them together. We also looked at how you can upload packages. we further went ahead to see how you can use the help button, okay, within R in case you have a challenge here and there to support you understand how to use a given command. And then we also saw that you can use R as a basic calculator. And also remember mentioning that how can we assign variables within R whereby you can use an equal or a less dash in case you want to assign a variable or you want to assign a particular value. For example, we said if you want, you can write and say x is equal to 2. It's the same as having x less dash 2. Okay. And the other thing that we have to know at the back of our mind that R is case sensitive. So in case you're writing a variable, for example, if you wrote the word age, and then you need to continue with age throughout. If you use small a, then that will look something different totally. So you really have to see whatever that you write, it has to follow through. So R is case sensitive. Okay, let's continue from where we ended yesterday. So today we are going to look at the last meeting we had, we managed to import a data set. So I'm going to first give a brief theory, and then later we are going to push on to the practicals again and see more interesting things. So within a data set, some of the time you'll find that some variables are categorical in nature. The example that I'm having here, for example, the types of soil, whereby one is loam, clay, and then sandy. So as we move on into R, we are going to see how can you tell R to look at a given variable as a categorical variable. And in that particular case, R reads it as a factor. So you just keep that at the back of your mind. And so you have to note that within R, categorical data is stored as a factor. And we're going to see that command. How do you do that? Okay, so now we are going to look at what is a data frame in R. The other simple way that you can look at a data frame, it's the same as a spreadsheet, whereby we see our variables within the within the different columns, and then we see the different observation under the rows. For example, whatever, if you're seeing this screenshot, we have rank, discipline, and then here's since PhD. And we're seeing that we have got different observations. So, you know, when you go to the field, you can as well have specific indicators or parameters that you want to collect data on. And then we put them in the first row as columns. And then later we start feeding in our different observations, depending on whether you're handling participants or their specimens or whatever that you're looking at. Okay, so most of the time, the data is stored as either as a numeric, as a factor, or as a character. But what you have to know at the back of your mind, let the word data frame not confuse you. It's the same as a spreadsheet. Where do we store our data? And then thereafter, we bring it within R for analysis. Okay, we also have what we call the levels of measurements. We need this particular information because the moment we get into data analysis, because these are the basics that we need to put on our fingertips, they will be easy for us to understand. For example, in case you've got a gender, which I'm calling a variable, gender can either have two options when one is a female or a male. So most of the time, the levels where we have a female or a male, we refer to them as attributes. We are just going to use these particular definitions to support us understand the work that we have within the data set that we last shared yesterday. All right. Okay. What about the how can you tell the relationships in case you've assigned a variable to different attributes, depending on the data that you're going to collect, especially maybe you're going to collect a survey. For example, in this particular case, you can have your variable as party affiliation, and then the different attributes under the party affiliation. Somebody could belong to a Republican, Independent, or a Democrat. And then also some other people can go ahead and record the attributes into numbers or values, whereby 1 represents a Republican, 2 Independent, and then 3 a Democrat. So, I mean, it's up to you. Do you want to leave your data when you have the party variables to be in form of attributes, whereby you're seeing the real names, or you want to look at it in terms of values? Of course, it goes back on the kind of the software that you're using, but within R, you can still have them as attributes or values, whatever case that you want, it will pick it that way. Okay, what are the different types of levels of measurements that we need to understand before we go into data analysis? It is always important to understand these 4 types of level of measurements. One, we have what we call the nominal, the ordinal, the interval, and then the ratio. Most of the time, the interval or ratio, these are just numbers. They're referred to as scale measurements. And then when we come to the nominal variables, nominal is just a name and doesn't imply any order of whatever case. For example, the example we had about gender, somebody is either a male or a female. There is no order attached to it. We looked at the party affiliation on our previous slide, Republican, Independent, or Democrat. Still, this is a nominal variable because there is nothing like maybe you need to see a certain order. So either people belong to any given attributes. Whereas for the case of the ordinal, in this particular case, the attributes or the levels can have a certain rank or can be ordered in nature. For example, we can say days of a week. With the days of a week, we move from Monday to Sunday. So there is some order in it. Sometimes you can also take an example about the levels of income, whereby you group them maybe a low, middle, and then high. So there is a certain order or a certain rank, how these levels or attributes are being put. So, I mean, maybe you've also encountered such variables at the same time. Now, when we come to the intervals and the ratios, which I've mentioned that they're also scale measurements, most of the time with an interval, we are looking at a distance between given attributes. And then you can also look at it in terms of temperature. You can also, for the case of the ratio, as we move on, you find that sometimes a 0 has a meaning. So an absolute 0 has a meaning. Maybe you can say the number of clients in the past 1 month, where you never got any, that is 0 has a meaning. And then you can also say maybe a 0-day baby, implying that that is just a new baby. So we are going to refer to the intervals and ratios as scale measurements. When we have, for example, distance, or when you have a certain variable with a 0, and that particular 0 has a meaning. You might ask yourself at the back of your mind that why do we need to know really the levels of measurements? Why are they important? There are basically 2 main reasons as to why you really need to know your levels of measurements before doing any analysis. Number 1, it is going to help you to decide what statistical analysis is appropriate to the values that you assign to. For example, if your dependent variable is ordinal in nature, your mind has to ring back and say, well, if it is ordinal in nature, what kind of statistical analysis am I going to use? If it is binary in nature, what kind of statistical analysis will I use? You know, all those particular things. If it is a scale or a ratio or an interval, what statistical analysis am I supposed to apply? That is number 1. And then number 2, apart from the statistical analysis, it's still further going to support you on how you're going to interpret your data. So how you interpret the data at the end of the day goes back on how you interpreted the different levels of measurements. Okay, so this is just a hierarchy on the different levels. With the ordinal, I mentioned the attributes are not named, so it doesn't matter. With the ordinal, there is an order that is involved. With an interval, we are looking at distance, and then most of the time the ratio, if you're capturing certain values, an absolute zero has a specific meaning, but we are going to get interval and ratio into one and refer to that as scale, the scale measurements or levels. Okay. This is also another interesting table that we can capture the back of our mind since we are going to use it. We are going to do something to do with univariate analysis and then bivariate analysis. At the end of the week, we are going to see how all these things look like. For example, in case you've got one categorical variable, with univariate analysis, we mean that you're only going to consider one variable. Un implies one. Then with bivariate, it implies that you're trying to check the relationship between two variables. So under invariate analysis, if you're having only one categorical, we need to find out what method of analysis shall we use. So in this particular case, we'll do a frequency. An example of a categorical value that you've just seen is a gender. We run a frequency to see the number of males and the number of females. And the method of visualization, we can do a pie chart or a bar chart. We are going to do all this, but we need to get this on our fingertips. Then if it is one scale variable, for example, maybe measures of rainfall, what method of analysis shall we use? We are going to conduct a summary statistics, and you can use a histogram as your method of visualization. Sometimes, most of the time, we say that a picture says 1,000 words compared to the what? Compared to the numbers. So, and also to make your work really flow when you're writing a report, sometimes it's good that you put some visuals in it. What about at the bivariate level? In case we have one categorical and one scale variable, we shall do comparison of means. Some other people call it analysis of variancy, all right? In case you have one categorical and one scale variable. And then we can have a bar chart or line graph as a method of visualization. In case of two categorical variables in this particular round, if it's bivariate, we do cross tabulation, whereby we can run a chi-square test to check if there is an association. And then you can also run a bar chart or clustered or stacked bar chart as a method of visualization. We are going to see this today, some pictures that we're going to have. And in case you're having only two scale variables, and you want to see the relationship, we can do a correlation coefficient, and you can do a scatter plot if you want to see it as the method of visualization. But all in all, this is just this slide should be on your fingertips for you to really get to know how am I going to do the analysis. We are going to do some examples as we push on. Okay, yesterday I mentioned about the R script and the comments. We said that you add a comment, they just act as reminders, and R sees them as inactive. We went further to say, how do you get an R script? You go to File, New File, and then get a what? An R script. I'm believing that by now, at least everyone knows how to get an R script within the RStudio. Okay, and then also, how do we import data in R? Yesterday, we just got a feel of how we can import data. But like I mentioned, R is so friendly that you can import other data sets from different programs. For example, you can use SAS, you can import SAS files within R from SPSS, from Stata, etc. You can import them into R and then continue to do your analysis very well. We looked at various options. I think I'll explain this more practically when we are importing data. Also remember, it goes back on the saving style. How have you saved your Excel sheet if you're looking at data saved within an Excel file? The type of, the way you save your Excel sheet matters so much, because by the end of the day, it is going to guide you on how you can import it. We can have data which is saved as a CSV, an Excel file. We can also have data which is within a text in a text form, and it can still also be imported within R. But since most of us are fast starters, what we can do, let's learn what I think it is friendly for now, and then we'll keep on building and building. And even you yourselves, as you pick interest, you will find that you discover other various options. Okay. We also have some packages like the read R. This one, we are going to use it when we're importing data saved as a CSV file. If you check in the folder that we sent you yesterday, we've got different data sets with an extension of a CSV. And then we also have other data sets that are saved as Excel files. And for us to read those ones, we shall use the read XL package. And I remember we tried that yesterday. But like I mentioned, there are many packages, and it goes back, what do you want to do? What kind of statistical analysis do you want to look at? And then you get to know, I need this particular package, because you cannot install everything at a go. All right, this is another option that we are going to do when we're importing data. And then at the end of the day, you'll choose which one is easy for you. Okay, I'll demonstrate this practically, but when we open our R, we'll move from the session, we set our working directorate, then we choose a folder where our data sets are. I believe by now you have a folder where you've saved all your documents, the file that we sent yesterday. So in that particular case, it will be easy for you when you're navigating on your computer to check that particular folder which has the data set that we want. Okay, this is step 2, where you can do it manually by creating a path within on your computer, but I'll illustrate that more on within when we get to R. So there are different ways for the case of Windows or when you're having Mac. So I will explain that practically. Now I'm going to end here, and then we go back to R and we complete the process of importing data. Okay, can we open our R scripts? Just go on your computer within the search button and then type RStudio. The moment you type RStudio, click on the app and then it will open up. All right. So what we are going to first consider, let me just share a little bit about the data set that we are going to use. It is called the diamond data set. And how did I get this data set? I used one of the inbuilt data sets within R. R as a program also have different data sets that you can use as for demonstration for learning purposes. And we are going to see that when we are running within the R script, how do I get access to all this data that's stored within R? Maybe you don't have a data set readily available for you and you want to really learn something, you can go and use the inbuilt data sets that are put there to support you when you're learning. And then later, when you collect your data, you can now practically adjust it to that. Now, within this data set that I'm saying that it is a data set which has got 100 diamonds and 7 variables. It is always important that before doing any analysis, you understand the specific variables, what they are and how they are described and how they are measured. For example, we are going to see when you open the Excel sheet, the one that we saw yesterday, it has a variable price and they're telling us that is price over diamond in dollars, the weight, we have the quality, which is, and they're telling us the quality is either fair, good, very good, premium, or ideal. We have the color moving from D to J, the best to the worst. We have the length, the width, and then the depth. What I'm showing here, this is just a picture of how a diamond looks like. So they collected 100 of them and they are capturing 7 parameters to check how, so it is up to us to design a particular topic and see how these variables interact with each other. Okay. I also want to share briefly about how the Excel sheet looks like. And then I open R. This is how the Excel sheet looks like. This one has been saved as an XLSX. The usual we save Excel sheets. So we are given weight, we have quality, we have color, we have price, the length, width, and then the what? The depth. So we are saying there are 100 diamonds. So in case you scroll down, we are going to see that my number, it is ending at 100, and when you further go down at 101, because the first row has my variables. So if you look at this particular line, it implies that they picked the first variable, which had a weight of 1.03. Its quality is premium. Remember, quality has different levels. The color is G. Its price is $6,214. The length is 6.38. Its width is 6.42. And then the depth is 3.99. So the same applies to other diamonds. And that is how we made up, we got our data set. Such that if now we move to R, you have an idea of the particular data set that we are going to be working with. Now we know the different descriptions. We've seen how data is in Excel. And so we are going to go to R. Yes. There. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And now we are still using the same Google link we shared yesterday. All the materials are there. Okay, so in case we do add more documents, we'll keep you posted. But we are still, all the materials are there. Kindly download everything from the Google link. Okay. All right. So I've shared my R. So we are going to, what we are going to do today, we are going to go back and do a recap of how we can import data, getting to know the different levels. And then after the different levels, we go ahead and do some simple analysis, step by step, and then until when we get, you really get the feel on how really R is interesting. Okay. If you remember yesterday, we had these 4 interfaces, whereby we had the one with RStudio, which is on my left, the upper window. In this particular space, what we do, we write our commands. After writing them, we can even be in position to save them, whatever that you want. But whatever you write within this space, when you click the run button, all your result will be seen in the R console, down here in the bottom window. Within the environment, we said that in case we import our data, we'll be able to see if it has been successfully imported. And then the bottom window on my right, we have the plots window where we can see in case we are going to see today if we run certain plots. If you want certain packages, we can also pick them from the pack that here. If you want help, we have the help window, which can also support you in case there's something that you really do not understand and you want to learn it very well. Okay, so now let's get to business. What I want to do here, I want to clear this space. I want to clear these black writings such that I'm able to see my work very well. It is, like I mentioned, as you journey into this business of using R, you're going to get to know different shortcuts on how to make your life simple. So for me to clear this space, what I need to do, if I don't use Ctrl+L, I can do the simpler way. And if you see, there is a broom on every window. I just click on that broom and then it has clear console. Then it will be very clear for me, such that whatever I run up there, I see it below. Okay, let me check in the chat and see. Can you type yes if you're on the same page and we continue? Okay, great. I'm glad you're following. Just to echo again, if you have a question, if you have a concern, please type it in the Q&A. My colleagues will be happy to respond to any challenge. And it support us to move on the same page. So, first things first, let's recap on how we imported our Excel sheet yesterday. We are importing the lab2 underscore dataset, okay? And we are going to use the first option. If you remember what we did, you can also practice at your end, and then we share together. We can have, I don't know if you remember what we did. We said you go to File, you know, there are various options. After File, you move to Import Dataset. And then when you reach here, you can import, they're giving you various options. Do you want to import from SPSS, a dataset saved with the SPSS, SAS, or STAT? But first, we want to get the one that has got Excel, right? Now, if you don't want to go through this long procedure, maybe some of you are looking at it like that. The other option would be, if you come in this particular window where there is environment, below it there is import dataset, just a direct link whereby you can click there, and then it also shows you want to import it from where. But the procedure is still the same. So when we say from Excel, it will bring this particular window. Within the window, we are going to see, we need to browse and find out where is our data. Like I mentioned, your data is somewhere on a specific folder on your computer. It might be either on your desktop, on your D drive, within your documents, whatever, depending. So what we are going to do, when you click from Excel, from your end, you're going to see that we have import Excel data, but we have the file stroke URL. This box here, it wants us to give the path where the data is. And then down here in this small box, we are seeing a code preview. With this particular approach, it is showing us the library. It's going to use read.xl, if you remember that. And then it is going to use the read_xl command. All right. And then thereafter, we'll view our data set. So what do? You click on Browse. Okay. After clicking on Browse, navigate up to the folder where you have the materials that were sent. And then open lab2_data.xlsx. You click on it and then open. The moment you click open, you give it just some few minutes. If it is not really large data, it will open up very fast. So with my within the box where there is, I'm seeing the path where my data is, but at the same time, when you go to the code preview, it is showing you the different data that it has imported. Then after that, you click import. Okay. So if your data has been successfully imported, when you check in your environment, it will show you by default the name of the data set, how you save that particular name. And then it will further go ahead to tell you the number of rows and then the variables, the number of columns. So here it is 100 observation of 7 variables. And it is also showing us the different variables that we have. What we saw in an Excel sheet, it is now being seen within the what? Within R. So let me pause here and I ask in the chat, I give you just a minute and then you also import that same data set in R, or you can use any other data set that you have on your computer and see whether it will work out. Okay, I'm just reading from the chat, successfully imported. Please repeat, we missed the steps. Okay. If you have a concern, please type it in the Q&A. We'll be able to track it easily. Don't put it in the chat because we won't be able to see that because of the various responses. Okay. Great. I'm going to redo just once and then we continue in case maybe you missed out. Okay. So let me close that. I'm also going to clean my environment such that everything is empty. How do I clean my environment? There is also a broom up here. Just click on the broom. You'll see that the environment is going to be empty again, so that I do it one more time. Okay, it will ask you that, are you sure you want to remove all objects from the environment? And then you can either say yes or what, or no. So me, I'm going to click yes. Okay. For those that have not followed the steps, I'm repeating for the last time so that we're on the same page. I say there are two options. Number one, you can come to File, then scroll down where there is Import Dataset. And then after that, you click from Excel. Okay, from Excel. Maybe let me stop sharing this, and then I share with you the screen that you get. Okay, the moment you click from Excel, this is what you're supposed to be seeing. Hope you're seeing it. A screen like this, what I've shared, is what you're going to be seeing. All right? And then, so you go on to Browse. When you click Browse, you have to navigate on your computer and click on that data set that you want to import within R. So for my case, when I browse on my computer, I want to import Lab 2 dataset. I click on it and then I click Open. After that, you just give it a few seconds, and then you'll be able to see within the data preview, you're seeing your data, how it looks like. And then when you come to the code preview, it is also showing you the library it used. And then it creates the Lab 2 dataset as a variable or as an object. Within R, we call it as an object, and further tells us the command that it is using. And then within the read_Excel command, remember inside we put, it has put the name of the data set that we have imported. And then after that, please come and down here and click Import. Okay, when you click Import, you'll be able now to go back to your, you'll be able to go back to your RStudio and be able to see the data that has been imported. Okay, I'm going now to share my R. Okay, if you don't want to use that method, you can also just come directly here, import dataset, all right? And then you follow similar procedures. Let me see if there is a question, or that is the first option. Whatever way you want to import Excel files, that is the procedure. Okay, let me check in the chat if there is a question. I think we're on the same page now. All good. And then, okay, and does it? Yes, please post the questions in the chat, and then I will respond to them accordingly. Now we are good to go. All right. Could you share the Google link again, please?
Maybe they post on Q&A. You can check on Q&A.
Okay. For importing dataset, there is no option about the CSV file. Justin, we are good now. Our next step is we are going to see how do we import files that are saved as a CSV. For the first option, we've just seen how to import data, which is saved as an Excel file. So don't worry, we are going to do that. And then the other question, how come when I started my RStudio, the imported data for yesterday was still appearing? Do I need to clear it first before importing? Okay, this is also a good question. In case when you open your R and the data that you opened yesterday is still there within the environment, then it implies that you just need to load the file, to load the packages again and run that path and continue because the data is already imported. Then you don't need to re-import it again because it is there, unless if you cleared it. If you cleared it, that's when you have to import it again. But in case it is still there, then you just need to proceed with the analysis. Okay. Okay, so Abraham, that is, you're making the same error. If you read your error carefully, it says that can't establish that the input is either XLS or XLSX. Because you imported the data set that is served as a CSV, that's why you're coming up with an error. But if you try to import the one, actually, if you read the comment, it's very clear. Sometimes, like we mentioned yesterday, read your error. The error will guide you on how you can solve that out. The same applies to Latif. I've cleared that. Make sure the extension, the files that we're importing, it is either it's an Excel file. It is saved as an Excel sheet. Now, our next step is going to be, how about files that are saved as a CSV? Okay. My colleagues will be answering other questions, but those are the ones that I can clear for now. All right. Okay. Maybe the other thing that we have to know that you have to note that each time you open R, okay, you have to load the packages that you want. But you don't need to install every day. Each time that you open your R, you don't need to install every day, provided you know that that package is already installed. So what you need to do is to load it by using the library command. And then after that, you proceed on to do the what? You proceed on to do the analysis that you want. All right. So yesterday, just to take a recap, I'm going to copy my libraries, okay, for demonstration purposes. I put them into a new file. If you can see that it has now turned red because it is a pop that your work is not saved. So in case I close R without saving it, it will disappear. Now, I want to run these libraries at a go. I can highlight everything and then I click the run button. The moment you click the run button, you're going to see the result in the console. All right. Now, how are we going? So we need to know, how are we going to import our data set that is saved as a CSV? If you check in your folder, we have lab2.data.csv. If you want to know how that data was saved, it is very easy. Maybe I can demonstrate that briefly. Let me first stop sharing, and then I share an Excel sheet. I don't want to assume that everyone knows. Okay, now, if this is my Excel sheet, what I've shared, okay, what you do, this is saved as a normal Excel sheet. You just go to File, okay, and then you go to Save As, whatever you want to save it, depending on what you want to do. Let me assume I want to save it in my day one. You find that I'm just talking about Save As type. When you come and click here, they give you various, when you click under the Save As type, you get various options on what you can, on how you can save your Excel sheet. Of course, the default one is the Excel workbook. So they don't have. Okay. So when you go to the Save As type, you would see the one that has got CSV, comma delimited. Then you pick that. You will see that now the Save As type has changed. And then after that, you can click Save. And then when you click Save, then your file will change now to have that extension. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this, and then I go back to my R file. Okay. Okay. Maybe the other thing that that you should note also, when you are installing packages in R, you need internet. But the moment those packages are installed, you're good to go. You don't need internet anymore, implying that you'll have them on your computer. So all you need to do is just to load them by using the library command, period. So you can move with your computer, whether the place where you are doesn't have internet, you can still proceed and do your analysis. You don't need internet anymore. You only need internet at the stage of downloading and installing the software, and then also when you are installing packages. After that, no need of internet. All right. Okay. And then also, just to keep you posted, that we are recording these sessions. So in case you miss out anything, the YouTube will also be good for you to check, to support you learn more again, and also take your own time of going through step by step. All right, now let's continue. If I go back to the class 1.R, R means R script. Check in the folder, we have it there. We said that I put the different descriptions, why we need certain packages and what are they used for. So most of the time, at least you know that when I'm going to import my data set into R, then I need the read R command, right? So, and then, I can use the read XL. Those are just the simple packages that we can look at. So what are we going to do? We've looked at the first option on how, in case you're importing data from Excel. The second option is going to be, how do we read data that is saved as a CSV? I'm going to go back here and demonstrate. So we need to set a working directorate. We need to know where is your data stored. So in that particular case, we set what we call set WD. Okay, set a working directorate. We want to navigate to the folder where that particular Excel sheet that is saved as a CSV is. So what is the procedure? How do we set a working directorate? So what we do, you go to session. Okay, please also let's move together as you work on your end. We go to session, then you click, you move down on the drop down. There is set working directory. So you click on that. After clicking on set working directory, it is going to bring another small window. So you move to that small window and click choose directory. When you click choose directory, it is going to, you need to navigate to the folder where you saved where you saved that Excel sheet. And you click on that folder. When you click on that folder, and then you click open, you stop at clicking the folder where the Excel sheet you want to import is saved. And then you click open. The moment you click open, when you look in your console, if you can see what I'm having, it has given me a path. It is telling me that my work it moves from the D drive, you go to the training folder, then day 1, and the folder where the materials are. Okay. Okay, let me ask in the chat if that is clear, then I can proceed, or I redo it again. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me redo. Let me repeat what we are going to do. We want to set a working directory. And within this working directorate, we are going to navigate and tell R that it is this folder that has got the Excel sheet that I want to use, which is saved, which has an extension of a CSV. First things first, make sure you have that folder where we have our material, and you know that within the folder, we are going to get the lab2_data.csv. In case you have any other data set that has got that particular extension, it is the same procedure. All right, I'm going to do it again. Remember, the paths vary from computer to computer. So mine might be different from what you're having on yours. But the procedure is very simple. You click session. On the drop box that you see, you go and click set working directory. When you click on it, it opens a small folder, and then you click choose directory. All right. So when you choose directory, make sure you lead it to where the folder is, where within the folder which has that Excel sheet that you want to use. So the moment you get to that folder, you click open. Okay. When you click open, when you come down here within the console, it will give you a path where that Excel sheet is. So what you do, we can copy and then paste it up in the RStudio such that we are able to save it. Such that next time when you come, you just need to run this line. You don't need to set your working directorate again because it is already set. What I'm going to do, I'm going to comment on this because I don't need it. All right. And then I've set my working directory. So now I want to go and pick my data set, which is saved as a read CSV, lab2_data.csv. So how do I import that data? I use a command called read.csv. This is the command I'm going to use, the command that I've put down here. Okay, so inside my command, I'm going to type in the name of my file. Remember, our name is lab2_data.csv. So it's what I'm going to put inside the bracket. I put double quotes, and then I put lab2_data.csv. Let me hope you're following up to this particular stage. The moment we understand how to import data, next time we'll just do it in a minute and then you continue. Because the procedures, as you repeat and redo these things, they will become a part of you. Okay, so when I run line 11, okay, if I click that line, you find that when I come to my console, I'm able to see the data set, how my data looks like with the variables and then the characteristics of each diamond. However, sometimes you might find that you've got a big data set, for example, over 1,000 rows. okay, or observations, and you don't want to see it within, your console. How do you do that? What you can do, you can create a name for your data set. And this name, most of the time we refer to it as an object. But it doesn't matter. It can change. You can give it any name at your end, provided it relates directly on the data that you want to analyze. Let me finish this step, then I pause. In case some colleagues are stuck, we can redo it again together. All right? So I'm going to create a name which I'm going to refer to as diamond. It's a name I've picked, it doesn't matter. Okay? But you can use any other name that you want. Remember what we said, when you want to assign, you can either use an equal sign or you can use a less dash. So what I want to do is that whatever is inside line 11, okay, let it be called diamond. Okay, whatever I want to store my information, I want to store my data within a name called diamond. In case I run this line, you're going to see that now within the console, I'm not seeing the data. But surprisingly, when I check in the environment, the name of the data, I can see the name of the data set. And it is showing me there are 100 observations of 7 variables. If I want to view this data, when you move at the extreme end, there is an icon of an Excel sheet. What I do, I click on it where this hand is. I click on it. If you click at that Excel, it is a view. You're telling R that I want to see how my data set looks like. Then you'll be able to view how your data set is. Okay, I'm going to first pause and then check in the chat if we are following. If we master those 2 options, then we are good to go. You'll always do your importation the same way, or you can learn other simple tricks on how to get your data into R.
Yes, Doctor, there are people who are a bit lost. I think you could repeat again for them to catch up.
Okay. All right. Repeat. Okay, fine. We are going to do the procedure again. Let's work together. So the point is, step number 1, you have a folder on your desktop. Which one? It is within the folder in Google. It is unsaved as lab 2. Okay, let me within the chart, can I confirm that you've got lab 2 data set, lab2_data.csv? Confirm to me if you have that data set. Okay, great. I'm seeing, please check again for the, I'm seeing 2 people saying no. Check again to ensure that you've got that data set. lab2_data.csv. Okay, no, just so in case it is not there, please go to save as. I've demonstrated that, the save as. Go to save as and then put an extension over CSV. Okay. Yes, I think a colleague has just written that the data set is from the training folder, from the shared link. Yeah. Where are the data sets? Kindly share with us. Okay, Professor Susan is going to share. Please, you can. Okay, yeah, Dr. Unyara shared the Google link where the data is. Great. Now let's push on. Make sure when you go to the Google link, you create your own folder on a desktop, on your computer, because it's where we're going to pick the data from. Now, the next procedure, if you're sure that you're having that particular data set, in case you do not have it, I mentioned that you can also import any other data set, not necessarily this one, provided it has got that extension of a CSV. Procedure number 2, let's set the working directorate. The working directory that we are going to set, it is the one that is going to, we are going to show R that when you navigate through, go to this, we have to navigate until we reach on a folder which has our data set. Okay, so how do we do that? Up here where there is RStudio, remember where we have file, edit, code, view plots, there is a word called session. Okay, you click on session. Let's work together. You click on session. Under session, it brings a drop box. As you read downwards, we have new session, terminate R, restart R, set working directory. Okay, so you come here on set working directory. The moment you click on set working directory, it brings another small window. So on that small window, you move down and click choose directory. Okay, when you click on it, you have to navigate and take R to the folder which has got the lab2_data.csv. We just need that folder. You do not open the folder. We just need only that folder. So you click on that folder. The moment you click on that folder where that data set is, click open. When you click open and you see under the console, you're going to see there is a line for you, a path that shows you up to the folder where that Excel sheet is. It has got set WD, then it gives you a path. Mine, of course, is different from your path. So let me first ask in the chat, have you reached that step? Do you see any set WD within your console? And the end, at the end, what you're seeing, for example, in my case, it is day 1, then that particular date. It is that folder where there is my lab2data.csv file where it is saved. Okay, let me first check in the chat if you've managed to get the WD. Okay, I need to see more yeses if you've if we are good. Okay. Please navigate to the folder where that script is. Okay. Yes, all good, fine. Now, the next thing what I want us to do is copy that path from the console and paste it up in the RStudio, such that when you come back tomorrow, when you save the script, this path will be saved and you not need again to launch it. All you need to do is to run that line. So what you do, come and copy, I just highlighted, and then I copied it. After copying, come and paste it up here within your RStudio, such that you're able, why I'm pasting it in the up in the RStudio, because I want to save it, such that when I close my computer and I come back again, I don't need to go into the same procedure because I'll have the path already. And all I need to do is to run my, to just run that line to launch the set working directorate, and then I continue. Okay, so I'm going to make one of it inactive by putting a comment. Now, if we have successfully created our working directorate, the next thing that we are going to do is for us to read the file saved as a CSV. We use the read.csv command. Remember, R is command driven, but the moment the commands get on your fingertips, I mean, it will be so interesting for you to perform a lot of analysis on your own. And we said that these codes are reproducible, so you can pick them from one project to another. But what is important is for you to understand what each code does. Let me pause a little bit and check in the chat. Are we on the same page up to there? Okay. Great. Okay, now let's continue. We need to master the work for yesterday and today such that the upcoming training during the week, everything is based on what we're doing right now. So you need to master them very well. When the next facilitator comes and tells you, can you set your working directorate, load your work, load the data set in R, then at least you already know what you'll be doing. Okay, now that was step number 2. Step number 3, we are going to use the read.csv command. Okay, this is my command that I'm going to use. Remember, the one with the Excel, it was read_Excel. So here we are using read.csv. Now, inside the brackets, go there and type in the name of the data set, which we saved as lab2_data.csv, and put it in double quotes. The name the name of that particular file. In case you're not considering this one, then type in the name that you saved that Excel file. Okay, so inside I type in my Excel, the name of the Excel file. I'm going to comment on this because I do not need it. Now, if I run line 15, what is going to happen? If I run, after putting the name of my data set, and I run line 15, what happened is that when you look in the console, all right? I'm very fast. Oh. Please decrease the screen view to fit our whole presentation.
Ellen.
Yes, please.
Can you ask a few people who are stuck to show their screen so that you're able to help?
Come again?
Say, can you ask a few people who are stuck to show their screen?
Okay, thank you.
To share their screen so that you can help. There are some people saying they want to know how do you clear the console?
Okay.
Sorry, I was using another computer, so I couldn't actually, I mean, my microphone wasn't working, so I had to change the computer. So I couldn't pass their concern to you. Thank you.
Thank you too. All right, I'm going to stop sharing, and then maybe we get 2 people, you share your screens, and then we guide accordingly. And Dr. Runyararo, kindly allow 2 participants to share, then we can demonstrate this together so that they can be able to see. Margaret Maina wants to share. Dr. Unyararo, please.
You said who? Margaret. Yeah, there are many hands up, so let me check. I'm just gonna pick any of these people. Stephen, I'm going to try to promote Stephen. Or Olado Simon. I've promoted.
There is Margaret. Margaret wants to share Maina. And then Elizabeth, Karani.
I've already promoted people who had raised their hands, two of them.
Okay.
There is Olado Simon and Stephen. Simon is going to present here. Please go ahead.
All right. Now, Simon, thanks for sharing. So, let me ask a question. The lab2 _dataset is under R-Studio folder, right? Simon,
yes,
am I right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so can you copy this line? Come to the R console. Can you copy that path? The set WD, only the first one. Okay, copy it and then we can take it up. All right.
I run it.
Yeah, it's okay. You can run it. Now, let's come and copy line read.csv. Yes. Okay. Then let's go up. So within read.csv, can you put it in double quotes? We saved our file as lab2 _data.csv in quotes. Then .csv.
Yeah.
You need to put the extension. The name alone is not enough. Put the extension. lab2 _data.csv. Yes. Can you now run? Are you saying that now,
yes,
when you run that particular line, you are able to see how your data set looks like?
okay.
But I mentioned that sometimes you might not be interested in seeing your data set. Okay, and you reserve it in a particular name. What name would you want? Okay, let's go on the next second line and put Simon. Let's use Simon. Number 5. Click down. Yeah, start typing Simon. Let's use it as our object name. Okay. Less or dash. Put the assignment operator, or you can put an equal sign, whatever that you want. Can you copy line number 4 and you paste it there? Okay, so now we are saying that we want to get all our data and we save it inside Simon. So Simon is going to be the name of our data set. So implying that whatever data that we have, we are storing it under the Simon name. So can you run line number 5? We cannot see. Is there a way how we can see down there?
No.
Okay, now do like this.
Now there are people who are saying they want to clean. There's something that looks like a brush there.
Yes. Can you come and sweep here? There is a broom here. No, on the R console.
And up and on top of the console itself.
Yes, yeah. Yes. Exactly. Okay. Now, can you click the broom again?
Does not click and doesn't clean any further.
Okay, fine. Let's start again. Now come back and run line number 5. Okay, run line number 5.
Again?
Okay, so are you seeing any change in the environment?
Yes, I'm seeing it has created a directory within my folder where I save them.
No. That line you have there. You remove that line, the second line. See the environment on the upper side, where there's lab 2 data and then there's Simon. You see where there's Simon?
Yes, I see something that's
so that's the change he's talking about.
Okay.
Okay, Simon, I want you to highlight whatever you have in the R console and you click the broom such that we follow it up again. Okay.
Yeah, this one is remaining.
Okay, now can you come and come at the end, enter such that the cursor moves down? Okay, are you seeing how it is blinking? So
yes,
whatever that we do, we are going to see it there. All right.
Okay. Yes.
Now I want you to come and clean the environment. Use this broom and clean such that it's empty. Yes. Great. So we've set our working directorate, which is whereby for the case of Simon, it is directing us up to the RStudio folder. And we say that run line number 3. Let's run it again. Number 3. That is good. Whatever we do up here, we see it in the R console. Can you run line number 4? Okay. So you find that when you run line number 4, you do not see anything in the environment. But
yes.
What we are seeing is that we are seeing our data within the R console. So what we do for us to store our data very well, such that we can refer to this data set, you create an object, okay? And this object can change. That's why we mentioned that now I'm going to create a name, Simon, which is now my object name, which is going to be the new name for this data set. So I said Simon is equal to whatever I had on line number 4. Such that I'm able now to store my data within an object. The Simon is the object I'm talking about. So can you run line number 6? Sorry, line number 5. Okay,
Run it.
so when you run line number 5 and you look in the environment, now it is showing us that your data has been saved in Simon. So all the time when I'm doing the analysis, I'm going to refer to this data set, which I've called Simon. When you move, because it is showing that there are 100 observations and 7 variables. When you move to the extreme end, there is okay. When you when you are having 100 observations of 7 variables, can you move your cursor up to the Excel icon and click on it? Great. When you click on it, we are able now to view our data set.
And there was somebody was saying, how can I get rid of, close that now?
Okay, close Simon. Click on the X. Simon, just come here. No, up here where we have untitled 1, untitled 2. Just, yes. Yeah, just click that and close it. Yeah, it's gone. Okay, is it okay now?
It's okay with
Simon,
me.
does it make sense to you?
It does, thank you.
Can we get one more person? Yes,
can I
Tom.
say something?
Mm.
Yes. Now the reason why you're being shown the different types of file is because people always save their data in different format. So you don't need to save your data, all your data in the same format. So if you're comfortable with Excel, you use you use your Excel file. If you're comfortable with CSV, use your CSV file. If you're comfortable with the text, use your text file. But you need to know the one that works for you well, and you always have to cross-check your data to ensure that you're putting in the right type of data. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Thomas. Stephen is unwashed. Stephen, can you take us through till when we get to know where you're stuck and we help?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. From yesterday, I was able to put in my data, and then today I have confirmed that through the studies. So now I have my data on the screen, as you can see, but it is impossible. I don't understand how do I clear the data from this console so that I can continue with the next step along the way. So as you can see here, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so where my cursor are blinking, or where I'm trying to special is where I am currently. I have the data here that I've inputted, but then how can I get this off to continue with the next process?
Now, are you saying where you have the one script.r up here?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
when you move, we have lab2_data.
Yeah.
When you cross that X, it will disappear. Can you click on it?
Okay.
Yeah, but then also the other thing I've noticed that your work is not saved. If you're working with the one script, please go and click that save icon. Click save, it will turn black. Are you seeing the difference? So it implies that now your work is what? You can even close your computer and then come back again and continue working because it is now saved. Okay. Can you now show us how to import the CSV dataset?
Yes, I can. By coming to.
Okay. Stephen, come and clean your console and you demonstrate to everyone. Come and sweep your console. The broom is here in the corner, not there. Okay, you can, where there is the R console, there is this silent broom. Are you seeing
this
it?
One?
Yeah, you sweep. Click on it, great. Can you enter? Oh, don't mind about that. Now, okay, you can show us now. Illustrate to everyone, how do you import a file saved as a CSV?
Okay, so I come here to File, Import Dataset, Excel, and then once I get here, I come to Browse. I have my file saved as day one, so I open day one. I have day one material. I open day one material. And then this is the file. So I made notation of this in the Q&A. This is a CSV file, and then I initially tried to open this, although it's in the form of CSV, but it rejected. R rejected it first. It refused to open it. So
that one is the one saved as a CSV, the upper one with the A. It is saved as a CSV. The one that you're pointing at now, it is the one that is saved as an Excel.
Okay.
Yeah, that is how you tell the difference. Okay.
Okay, so I click on this, then I open, and then once this load the data load into this place, then I come right here and click here, and then
great. So that is one option. Like Dr. Thomas has said, whatever is easy for you, it is what you go with. We are just sharing various approaches. So now, Simon, that is very good. So can you demonstrate now how we can import a file saved as a CSV, the one that has got an A on the Excel?
Okay, so this was where I was lacking because I had this on the screen, and then I couldn't go further because I didn't know what next to do, how to get this off the screen.
So can you clear it now?
Yes, I can with ease.
Okay, great. All right, thank you so much. I want us to get one person who can demonstrate how we can import a CSV file. Steve, thank you. You can stop sharing. Can we get one more person to demonstrate? Yes, Joseph. To demonstrate how you can import a CSV file.
We promote a lady.
Joseph is interested. And then also I'm seeing
Joseph who? There are 3 Josephs.
Your name has disappeared.
I see Susan Moletsane is stuck somehow. Maybe you ask her to share screen.
Susan.
MS, there's one with MS there.
MS. I'm not seeing
Malekoa.
Susan, okay. Okay, I've promoted her.
Okay.
Promote also one more person to demonstrate for us.
Also Justin.
Okay. So for those that have been promoted, could you please share with us and we'll get to know how far you've learned?
Yeah, just show us where you are stuck so that we can help.
Susan has gone.
Yes. Yes, Susan is now there. Susan has declined, so maybe we have to promote her again, but Justin is there, I think.
Charles Maine also wants to share. Abedela Kiki also saying that allow me, I can share. Let's get
Charles.
Okay.
I promoted Charles.
We can get from one person and take us through that. It will be great if you also understand how to do it. So please listen and get to know how to do it.
House is in the building.
Okay. Dr. Unyara, whom have you promoted?
Charles Maina.
All right, great, sure.
Yeah, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Charles Maina. So how we can import a CSV data, just as we've been explained to, is number one, after setting the working directory, we therefore, like for instance, as I did up here, I set my working directory. Please, you can allow me to run it, as you can see on the screen. It's number 21. So when I run it, this is how it comes up here.
Charles, how do you set the working directorate?
Thank you. Let me start there. So how we set the working directory, as we were explained, please let me just create another line down here quickly and call it setting working directory, maybe like that for now. So we start by writing a command from in R and say set working directory. It actually pops up here. Then you select on it there. Then after selecting on it, you then come to the session up here. Then click on it. Then go to set working directory. Then choose the directory now where your data is. Like for instance, my data is in this R folder. So I'll open my R folder like that. Then this is where my data and all the materials are. So then I'll click on it like that and say open. When I click open, it down here in the console, it then brings, it will just pop up as you can see. Then copy this link, so to call it, come and put it here. Sorry, I need to, yes, come and put it here like that. So now you already now have a working directory, and I will run it as you see. So here it comes. Then after that, you need to now tell R to read CSV maybe data, and by that you just say read, and then it actually pops up. Then you click on it like that. Then remember how your data, the CSV data is saved, or maybe how your data looks like. So our data is RAB2 data. That is how we downloaded our data looking like. So I can actually copy it. Maybe I can go to the folder where my data is. Like this is my CSV data, and I see it's written RAB2 underscore data. So then I'll come to R, perhaps maybe copy that name as it is, and make sure that I retain the extension of that data. So after pasting, I make sure that there is the extension of the data, which is CSV like that. Then I will run that data. So when I run this command, this is how the data then appears then in the console down here, as we've been explained to. But then, because we need to make sure that the data is stored, sorry, my environment and some other data, perhaps I can clean it like that. So because now we need to ensure that this data is stored in a way that you can be able to access it, then we need to create a name. And the name in this case would be an object, as we were told. And I want to create my object or a name, and I'll call it minor. So when I call it minor, I would say minor equals this data here, this command, which directs R to my directory on how the data is saved. So I would say read. So I'll just copy this command, line28, come and paste it here. So when I run this command like that, it will just come and appear in my environment, and therefore this is the data that then I'll be using for my analysis. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Charles, that's great work. Let me hope other colleagues have been following, because you've really taken us step by step. So let me ask in the is there anybody who wants to share, or we can continue? Let me check in the chat. Okay, I think now we're on the same page. I understand it now from Maina. Okay, that's good. I can
stop sharing.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Charles. From the comments I'm reading, that it has been good presentation. Right, let's continue. It's clear now. So please try to follow through, and then go ahead and import your CSV file. Whatever approach is easy for you, it is what you can use. All right, I'm going to share again. Okay. All right. Now that we've been able to import our data, our CSV data in R, okay, and Simon used his name, then Maina has also used his name. You can also use your name, whatever object name that you want, provided it's the one that you'll be using to call your data set. it doesn't matter. Okay. So if I think I last demonstrated on line 17. So when you find that when you run line 17, okay, so you do not see anything in the console apart from what you've written in line 17. But when you check in your environment, you're able to see that, okay, now all the variables, whatever is involved within the data set, it is saved under Diamond, the object name. Or you can say it is saved under Stevens, or it is saved under Minor, depending on whatever name that you've used. Okay. The other thing also that is always important, we want to find out how does the structure of our data set looks like. So you can come and put a comment and write structure of the data set. Remember what we shared yesterday about comments? It's like you're writing notes. So remember our data set now is called Diamond. For my side, for your end, you have to keep the name that you've used. So how do we see the structure of the data set? We type str, okay? Str is our command. So inside the command, now we put the name of our data set. What we are going to be having, it is str, and then inside, I'll write Diamond. Right? So I'm going to run line 23. When I run line 23 and I look in my console, there is we are seeing an output. Okay? So the first thing it's telling us that our Diamond data set, it is a data frame. I'm trying to explain this. With 100 observations of 7 variables. At the same time, we are seeing that different variables. For example, we have weight, we have quality, we have color, price, length, width, and then depth. Now, when you move on here, they're telling us that weight, the data type of weight is num. Num is numerical. And we are seeing there, they give some of the starting observations within that variable. When you come to quality, they're telling us that the data type is character. Why they're saying, why R is seeing it as a character? Because they're seeing that it is saying different string, premium, fair, very good, ideal. The same thing applies to color. It is also showing it as a character with G, D, H, and so on. When you come to price, it is telling us that the data type is integer, okay? They are numbers and so on. And then when you see the length, width, and depth, they're also num, that they are numerical in nature. But remember what we mentioned earlier, that what we know that quality and color, they are categorical variables. Okay, so maybe before we go to changing them, the other function that we can run a summary of our data set and the summary of Diamond and just get a brief feel of what really is happening. How do we do that? We use a summary command. Okay, when you say summary, and then inside, now you put the name of your data set. The name of my data set is Diamond. Okay, and then after that, you click the run button. When you come in the console, you're going to see that, okay, when you look in the console, can somebody tell me, type in the chat and share with me, what are you seeing? Just a short sentence, then I'll read. And I think Emerson have answered. Num is numerical, int is integer, that they are integers, and then what? And then, okay. So length, width, mean, median, max, they're descriptives. Great. Okay. Okay, descriptive statistics. Wonderful. Now, can somebody comment about quality and color? Can somebody comment about quality and color? I'm seeing Newman Price. Okay. Can somebody comment about quality and color? What conclusion can you come up with? I'm reading in the chat. I'm waiting for an answer. It's a character. Lovins are saying it's categorical, no descriptives. It's nominal data. They are similar. Nothing. Okay. All right. So let's go back briefly. Remember, we learned about the levels of measurements, whereby we said under the level of measurements, you can have nominal variables or ordinal variables, and most of the time the nominal and ordinal variables are categorical in nature. And then the ratio and the interval, they are scale in nature. They're just numbers, so they could be either numerical or categorical. So from the summary, when we ran the summary command, we saw that quality, for what R is seeing, yes, it's seeing that there are hundreds of them, but they're just characters. So here we need to tell R that no, quality and color are not characters. Please read them as variables. Sorry, read them as categorical variables. How do we do that? We are going to tell R, we are going to use a command code as a factor, because within R, the moment you use as a factor, it automatically reads that variable as categorical, not as character anymore. All right. Okay. Now, like I mentioned, okay, we are going to use as.factor command. This is a command that we are going to use. Okay, thank you. Yes, there's a question in the chat. Somebody is saying that quality and color do not have summary statistics. If you remember the slide that I showed, that in case you're having one scale variable, the method of analysis is summary statistic, or call it descriptive statistic. So what we are saying here is that weight is a scale variable, price is a scale variable, length, width, and depth are scale variables. They are numerical in nature. That's why we are having a summary statistics of a mean, first quantile, median, mean, third quantile, and then the maximum value. When it is categorical, what we are going to see, the method of visualization are frequencies. But now we need to first tell R that read these two variables as factors, and then now when we run the summary again, we shall see the frequencies. Okay, but let's first now convert the character to factor using as.factor command. So I'm going to, how do we do that? We want to convert everything within the data set that we have. So I'm going to write and say, my name of the data set, diamond. If I want to pick any variable from my data set, I use the $sign. Please work out from that end. If you use a $sign, it will bring for you a drop down, and it is asking you, well, within the data set diamond, which variable do you want to pick? And then you say, I want quality, because it's the one that I want to change. Okay, now next I'm going to assign and say less or equal, and I use my command here. the command that I mentioned. Let me write, and then I'm going to explain again. So as.factor inside, I want to, this is what I want to convert. Okay, I'm going to explain again. Please follow. I'm using the as.factor command. So I'm saying that go to my diamond dataset and then convert for me quality. This is the dataset, whatever name that you use. And then what I want to convert from character is what? Is quality. But put everything still under the diamond dataset.
Ellen, they said your script is not seen properly. You may need to minimize your, I don't know.
Minimize or zoom out?
Zoom out or what, but I don't have a problem. I see it clearly. So you try to do and see there are a few people saying that.
Okay. Let me, what about there? I'm saying it very well. Okay. All right. I've tried to zoom in to ensure that the things are more visible, the lines. Okay, somebody's asking, what does as.factor mean? Remember, we are having, when we ran the summary command, we saw that quality and color, we are seeing them as characters, CHR, okay, as their class. But when we are collecting data, at the back of our mind, quality is categorical in nature. Because under quality, if you go back in the data set, we had ideal, we had premium, excellent, good, and then fair. But now here, when we run the structure command, R sees it as a character. So what we want to do, we want to use the as.factor command to convert the quality and color variable to categorical. So you can write, and even at the end of the line, and say, I'm using that command if you want to convert to categorical. You want to convert categorical. It's used to convert categorical variables. Okay? So within R, the categorical variables are referred to as factor variables. So what happens is that, let me take a step further, as.factor, okay, inside the bracket, what I do, I say, go to my diamond dataset. Go to put the name of the dataset that you used. So if I type it there, okay, if I want to pick any variable from my dataset, I use what we call a $sign. It's one that brings together. So, and it asks you, what variable do you want to pick? Because inside Diamond, there are several variables. You come and click on weight, because it is what that you want to convert. When you click on weight, you see, now we've used the as.factor, then inside you have Diamond and then quality. We are going to do the same thing when it comes to color, which is as.factor, and then inside I put Diamond, $sign, I go and pick color. But why I'm assigning everything inside, I want everything to work within the Diamond data set. So I create just this particular object, the Diamond $sign quality. It's just an assignment of whatever that I've got up here. Okay. So I'm going to run this line. I'm not seeing any effect because I'll have to run the structure again to see if it has been affected. Don't worry, if you still need a more clarification, I'll do that. And then I run another line, diamond, $, color. Then I assign it this line here, Ctrl+C, I bring it here. I also run the same line. Within this data set, I've got 2 categorical variables. How do I convert a character to a categorical? I use as.factor. Even if when you have a big data set and you want to do the same, you also use as.factor. Okay, let's run our structure again and see what is going to happen. If I type str, I put again diamond. Okay, when I run that line, I want to see, has anything changed? Okay, I want to see comments in the chat. I've converted. Can somebody tell me, are you seeing something new? All things are still the same. Just write your comments in the chat, then I'll read them loud. What is new? What has changed in the structure now? Type for me. I want to see if you've managed to. What is str? Okay, that yes, it has changed to factor variables, quality, color 7 levels, great. So we are saying that now it has changed to a factor with color has 7 levels, and then quality has 5 levels. The values of quality color have been displayed, color 7 variable levels, quality 5 levels. Great. So somebody is also putting an answer that STR is structure. Wonderful. He could not. Okay. But my price is showing int. Master, there's nothing wrong with your price. Your price is okay. Okay. Human brains, what? Okay. Color and quality are now recognized as factors and their respective levels. All right, so let's push on. It is something that I wanted you to note, that now after using the as factor command, we are seeing that quality now, instead of having character here, is changed to a factor, and it's showing us that it has got 5 levels. Okay, and then color again, instead of having CHR character, it is showing us it is a factor now, implying categorical with 7 levels. Now, I'm going to go back then and run the summary and see what is going to happen. So after converting them, I run summary of my data set, the name of the data set. So if I run that, let's check the results that we have. Anyone to comment? Anyone to comment on the results now? Type in the chat. We shall catch up slowly but surely. Anyone to comment on the results? Prof, do we need to give them a break? Okay. Now we can see the number of observations. Fair is 5. It shows a descriptive of quality and color. Okay, it comes with frequencies. All right. Okay, results are now descriptive. Mine still shows car. Oh, Okay, somebody's still complaining that for hers still shows, okay. Quality and color, it has been categorized. We now have numbers for color and quality. Great. So what we are seeing, after converting quality and color to as a factor, using as a factor command, so we can see that quality, it is categorical in nature. The diamonds that are fair are 5, the ones that are good are 8, the ideal ones are 39, premium 35, very good are 13. Right? When you come to color, the ones that are D are 16, E 17, F 15, G 21, H 16, I 10, and J 5. So, I mean, at least now you can explain something. Hopefully we'll show you how to present data at the end of the week, and we get to know that, well, how do you present your data with somebody who doesn't know R? Okay, I think this is clear now. So I'm going to go back to my class 1 R script, and then I check where we've stopped because I'm doing it. Okay, now maybe something to echo out again. There is also, we have a command which is called head, the head command. What the head command does, it gives you the first 6 rows of your data set by default. Okay, so if I run this line here and I click run, if I check my result, this is what I'm seeing. It brings me the first 6 rows. Sometimes you might want to get you want to familiarize with your data very well. Okay, in case you need only 3 rows, then you come inside the head command, you put the name of your data set, then comma 3, implying that just display for me only the first 3 rows. If I click that line, then it only bring the what? 3 of them. In case you want to see the last ones, then the command that you'll use, it is called tail. Inside tail, you write the name of your data set, diamond. When you run this, it will give you the last 6 rows from 95 up to 100. If you also want to get the last 3, then you'll have to put a comma and then you put 3. Then you can run that and it will give you only the last 3 rows. Okay. Sometimes you might want to know the class of your data set that you're using. But remember, we said it is a data frame or a data set. So we use the class command. When you run this line, it will tell you that it's a what? A data frame, in the sense that we've got our names on the first row and then other observations in the respective rows. Okay, let me check in the chat. Is it possible to convert numerical data to categorical in R? Yes, it is very possible. We can convert numerical to categorical, but the other way around is not correct. Somebody is saying break, please. Please repeat the last step. Okay. Do you agree that we take a break of 5 minutes or we continue? Repeat on head command. The speed was too high. Okay. So others saying continue, others break. Okay. We are going to take a break of, a break of only 10 minutes as you digest what we've covered. Welcome back. We're going to continue. During the break, I was reading through the different charts that you're posting, and some colleagues were asking that a recap on as a factor, and then the structure. So I'm going to just use the first 5 minutes to recap very briefly, and then I continue. And then there's also a colleague who was commenting about the different commands, and the answer was, you'll only use the commands that you need. You don't need everything. Like we mentioned, there are a million packages. But what happened is that you only use a package that you are interested in, or that is going to support you when you're doing the analysis.
Okay. And can you ask a few, maybe 1 or 2 people who got challenges to show their screen to share, so that way you can see where the errors are?
Okay, please. Thank you. That's a good one. Let me stop sharing. Anyway, in case you fail to, if you you want to share with us, and then we can support you. If you fail to convert into a factor, and then your the structure was not working, could you please share such that we move on the same page? How do I import the diamond file?
We promoted Umutoni Justin. Umutoni Justin, please go ahead.
There's Keremang Gawaga. Maybe that one, because he's saying he's getting frustrated. They'll probably let him show the screen, and we see what is going on there.
Then we can also have Rashid Okoth sharing. He's wondering where the diamond file is. I think you can also grant him an opportunity to share, and we can support those two, and the rest can learn from them. Please help me in the link to download R. Kindly listen to yesterday's video. It will be of great support. Okay, for those that have been promoted, please share.
Yeah, please don't give up. We are still going to use the same issue of importing the file. We are still going to continue with it until the end of the training. So don't get discouraged by what's happening today.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
For me, I am still behind. I couldn't still read the CSV document. So I might not be the best person to...
Justin, share.
Okay,
share,
let me do
have
that.
a look.
Okay. Confirm you can see my screen.
Okay.
So
yes, we are seeing your screen.
So from the setting, working directory, I couldn't. I really tried and tried to put the file in the different locations so I can have it. It still couldn't read the CSV.
Do you know why you have an error on line 22? Because you did not save the extension. We said lab2_data.csv. Can you try to put it there and we see? Line 22, inside you have, yes, .csv. Put a dot, yes. Okay, can you run now and we see?
It still shows no such file or directory.
But do you have the folder? Do you have that folder with that file inside?
I have actually, I've created several, so I succeed. But like I'm still
first go to session. Up there, go on session. Up there where there is session.
I want to remove this one.
No. First go to session up there. Session.
Oh, la, la. There's something that is
Do you see where there's file, there's edit, there is code, there is that?
Yeah.
After plus, that's where the session is.
Mm.
You
You see there's RStudio, where there's written RStudio on top.
There's a bird that is hiding me to other things. The black thing.
Okay,
of,
there, session.
Mute set. Can you see that? No, I can't.
You see where there's session?
I can't. I know where it is, but I can't see that.
You put your cursor up there on top.
It has been highlighted.
It has been highlighted red there.
I've highlighted it for her such that she sees it.
No, but she can't. Yes, that.
Okay. Yes.
Set working directory. Choose a directory. So where is the directory?
So I had it in my downloads. This one, but I can't see it.
No. R training. The upper one.
Mm-hmm.
Double click. Don't open. First double click.
But it's empty.
And I have put the file that I downloaded from the Google Drive.
No.
I can't.
No. Go back a bit. Just click on the R training. What do you have inside the R training? Okay.
Can you see that?
Then yes. No. Go one step back. Okay. Now no. That's okay. You click open now. Click open from down. Click the open.
It has opened.
No. Okay. Now go back and try to run that program and you see whether it will run it now. Line 22.
22. Oh, it has run. Thank you. I really struggled.
So you were not getting the folder.
Oh, I had it wrong.
Yes, but then you still need also to assign it a name. Can you see now where you have line 22, you have read.csv, you assign it a name, like your name. No, just type, but.
Like this?
Okay, yes. Then copy that line and put it there.
22?
Yeah, the line 22. Copy the whole line.
The whole line, okay.
Yes. Okay. Run it now.
It's in the environment.
Okay. So you can see there's Justin now in your environment there.
Oh, I have really struggled. Thank you so much. So for the remaining part, I didn't even follow because I was frustrated, unless if you guide me through.
But in case you've gotten that bit, Justin, then we can follow through. You can recap using the audio since it's being recorded, the YouTube, and then we can now follow through. So it implies that where I was mentioning Diamond, for you, you'll put Justin because it's the name of the data set that you've used. That is where the change is going to come from, but the rest is going to remain the same. We said it's just unchecked and the name can change.
Okay.
Okay.
If you don't mind, you can share the script. Maybe I can go through at the end of the session.
Okay, please.
Thank you.
Please save. Can you try to save such that you don't lose your work?
Yep. Good. Okay.
So I put it a name. I give it a name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give it any name that you want. then click save. That R will come automatically, okay? So are you saying now it has put the name that you day2 Ruforum R.R. It will always bring that extension of R.
Okay, I appreciate for the assistance.
I'm seeing the red crosses. Sometimes they are implying that maybe there is an error somewhere, so you need to check why the crosses. Can you scroll up? Just scroll up. Now, repeat display. Okay, scroll down. We can sort that as we move on, but it's just something minor. Okay, can we have somebody else to share? I think, Justin, we're good to go. At least you've captured something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Let's get one more person. Matovi saying me, please. David, can you allow one more person, please?
Yes, we are promoting Mary and Martha.
Okay.
So Mary, you can go ahead.
I see Martha.
Martha. Martha, please go ahead. Also, there is Mary.
Good evening.
Yes, Mary, go ahead and share your screen.
Good evening. Can you see my screen?
No, we are seeing you. You are seeing your camera. So just share your screen. And maybe it is good for participants also to introduce themselves and where they are from, such that we know where you're from. We know you're from different countries across the continent. So Mary, you can introduce yourself.
Can you see it now?
No, we are not seeing your screen.
Oh.
You have to click share screen.
Yeah.
Yes, now it's coming.
Martha, you're going to also share after Mary is done.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself and where you're from.
I'm Mary from Kenya. My problem is on
which institution? Which institution?
Egerton University.
Okay, thank you.
My issue is on, as you can see from the art console, when I tried running the head, this part, the head diamond.3, the last 3 rows, I got an error.
It is a comma, not a dot. Diamond, comma. Put a comma and we see. Instead of a dot.
I think that is where I got lost.
Put a comma and then you run again. Run and we see.
Yeah, I'm back on. Thank you, Daktari.
You're welcome. Then the last person.
Martha, introduce yourself and share your screen.
Okay, good afternoon, doctors. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Martha Shepo, and I'm a PhD student at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, UKZN. I would like to share my screen. I think I got very frustrated because somehow I got lost. And maybe if it's gonna take much of the time, you can maybe just give me somebody that can take me through. Thank you.
Can you maximize the screen?
Maximize. 。 Oh, did I minimize? No, what is
Okay,
this now?
come on, clean your console, clean such that we'll start from we are able to see. Can you clean the console? Use this broom here.
The console.
You click. Okay, so where is the problem?
What do I do after this? Installing all my packages.
When you run the packages, are you're getting errors or what? I haven't gotten what.
I have not gotten any error.
Okay.
So should I do it again?
You can't, I mean, why it's going to take a lot of time because you're installing at the same time loading. So it is better you first install and then run the libraries alone when you're loading. Okay, can you come and click stop? Did you install them or did you install them already?
Yes, I did.
Okay, then just load them with the ones with libraries. Just terminate it, click stop. Okay, from line 11 to 17, that is if you download them successfully, you can try that. No, up to 17, only the libraries. Okay. So what we are seeing down here that the packages are success. You've been able to load the packages very well. But what I'm still missing is that what is your problem?
I think you are far ahead of where I am, or are we at the same page?
Did you try to call the files to get those files, open the data?
No, that one I did not try to do it. I uploaded my Excel with the data that I had, and then that is
okay,
where
because I see your data there, the farmers. Can you click on that data there? The farmers' perception.
What is this packages? Is it me who open it?
Yeah, you're the one who opened it.
Why is it not? Why is it
but
not
you can
closing?
close it.
But it doesn't want to close.
The X, there's the X there. Where your farmer perception, there's X. Yeah, close that.
Oh my goodness. Which one must I?
No. Yeah, there you go. Click on that. Yes, that one. Okay. Now, can you try to that untitled 3, untitled 2? Can you click on them? Maybe you have something inside there.
Where, doctor?
You have untitled 3. Click up. Go to untitled 2. Okay, no, I think they're all the same. So maybe let the others first show, and then you try to follow through the videos.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can we have coloring, please? David, can you please admit more 2 people? Coloring wants to share. And then how can I get the diamond file? I will not be able to join yesterday. Othien Achen wants to share. Tessie. David.
Yes, Helen, you're saying Calorie or Claudio?
We can have 2. We can have the two and then see. Even I'm saying test.
Caroline is already there.
Okay.
And then
even Florence wants to share. We can have two, then the rest will follow through the
Caroline,
YouTube.
please go ahead, introduce yourself, where you're from, the institution and the country.
Okay, so I'm Caroline Degwa from University of Eldoret. And I'm from Kenya. So I have been I started following the R sessions a while ago with Dr. Helen, but I've been having a problem when I open my R and my RStudio, it only brings the 3 faces. So every time I have to try, I have to delete them and try again, but it still doesn't bring the R script face. You see there are 3.
Okay, go to File. New file. Okay, R script.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, great. So you can now be able, you save your commands in the RStudio and the result will be seen in the R console.
Okay, thanks.
That's why you need that window such that you're able to save your commands.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Carol. And the last one?
Florence. Florence, please go ahead. Introduce yourself, the institution, and the country.
Carol, stop sharing, and then we'll hear from Florence.
Florence, please unmute yourself and share.
Florence, are you there? What is the problem? Please speak.
Maybe Helen, you can pick another person for us to promote because Florence is not responding.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, please speak and talk through such that we get to know where the problem is and we can help.
Florence is muted. Please unmute yourself so that we can hear you.
Florence, are you there? We can't hear you.
Are you hearing me now?
Okay, yes.
Are you seeing my screen?
Please go ahead, introduce yourself, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, I'm Florence from Kenya. I'm a PhD student at Jomo Kenyatta University. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Are.
Okay. I was trying to recap on what you've been doing. So I started with setting working directory. I've done that and ran the CSV and I've given it, assigned it the name flow. Then I've done the structure parts of the data sets using the structure command and the summary. And also done the conversion of the categorical data using the structure. So where I was asking is I converted the quality in the color. This is whereby Daktari was able to introduce the different levels of color and quality. You see, mine is displaying as length is 100 and class is character. I want the other part of getting the values.
Can you come
Yes,
and
the command
copy? Come on line 23 and copy flow $quality. copy whatever is inside that bracket. Okay. No, just copy what is inside the bracket is what I'm interested in. Yes. Okay,
Yes,
copy. Yeah, please copy. Have you copied? Then
Yes.
put it at the beginning of line 23. Put it at the beginning of line 23, what you've copied.
Okay.
Okay. Then assign, put a less or dash or an equal sign, whatever that you want. Now do the same for line 24. For line 24.
Can I put it in front?
Yes, then copy. Now, can you run line 23 and we see? Let's first clear come and clear the console so that we're able to see what you're doing. Clean it. Enter.
20.
Run and we see. Can you come and I want to just hope you're seeing the line here. Okay, then structure. Run that line 25. Okay, are you following with the results?
Yeah.
Then summary, line 26.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Florence. I think now you can stop sharing.
Thank you.
All right, now let's proceed. Then we can sort other issues as they come along. Continue posting in the Q&A, and then we'll be happy to respond. Okay. All right. So, like we mentioned, you need to get the basics. After getting the basics, then it implies that the rest of the training is going to be very friendly for you because most of the words now are not going to be new as before. Okay. When you look at line 47, we wanted to find the summary of our data set here, whereby when you run it, you see that we are having, let me clean this place. So in case we already saw the results, what we are having is that now we can see the weight, the quality, the color, price, and so on. Those are results. But then sometime you might not be interested in the summary of the whole data set. Maybe you're just interested in a specific variable. Remember, how do you pick a variable? You pick the name of your data set and then the variable that you want to use. Okay, so I can do the same thing. I can use summary. I can do summary. And then what summary of what? What do I need exactly? I can do diamond. Diamond is my data set, remember? So it varies from what you're doing. $sign. And then I want a summary of, for example, weight. I come and pick weight. So when I run this particular line, what I'm going to see down here, it is only for weight. If I say summary and I only put diamond, it's going to bring everything. But if I want for only a specific variable, then I say summary in bracket, diamond, then $sign, weight. Remember, we are using summary because it is a scale variable. Or you can, what about in case you're only interested in mean? You can use the mean command, which is it is MEAN, and then inside you put whatever you want, a mean of what. So you need to tell R, I want to go to my diamond data set and get for me the mean of weight. So in case you type in whatever that we are having here, and when you run this particular line, it will only give you the mean. With the first one, when you run the summary, it gave you a 6-point summary. But here, you're only interested in the what? In the mean. Let me hope that is clear. You can further go ahead and get the minimum alone. You can find the median alone, the variance, standard deviation, maximum value, like for a specific variable that you're interested in. So all those are just inbuilt functions within R. Okay. We've already discussed about how using as a factor, if you want to convert a character to a factor, or to tell R that no, read this variable as a categorical one. All right. So we did that already. We saw our structure. I'm not going to repeat that. Then also, maybe I think that I can share, we can, for the case of summary, we've been able to see that we can be able to get the statistics for a scale variable. What about for the one that is now categorical in nature? What we do, we use a table command. Okay, a table command if you're dealing with categorical variables, and then inside you say inside you type diamond data set, then quality variable, or you can say diamond $, and then you come and pick color. All right. So when you run this particular line, you see the different frequencies, the one that we saw earlier. When you run the one of quality alone, you'll be able to see that the fares are 5, good, ideal, premium is 35, and then very good. Sometimes we've been talking about an object. You can as well say, I'm going to, for example, use qual to create an assignment, less or dash. You're creating an object, and you're saying that let everything here be equal to my object qual. I don't want to confuse you. I'm doing the same thing. I've just created an object here that whatever is within the table diamond $ quality, put it in the qual. So in case I run this particular line, I will not be able to see my result. Okay, so what I need to do for me to see the result, I need now to run the object again, this object. So in case I run it, that's when I'll be able to see the results. Like we mentioned, you'll master these tricks as time goes on. All right. How about in case you want to get proportions, especially when it comes to categorical variables? Because most of the time when you report the annual frequency, you further go ahead and report the percentage. So in R, we use what we call the prop.table command. It is prop.table command. So you want proportions of what? Remember we had this one earlier. Okay, the table, we saw it earlier, but because this one looks to be something lengthy, we can change that and put qual, because we know that qual is the same as table diamond $ quality. Okay, in case I change that and I put qual, then I run that particular line, it will show me that the percentage of fair, the proportion is 0.05 up to very good, which is 0.13. You can further go ahead and multiply by 100. So I want to change this, and I put what? And I put qual. In case you multiply by 100, and then you're going to see that fair is 5%, good is 8%, ideally 39, and then very good is 13. Okay, I'm going to skip line, that one I've already explained. In case you want to know the number of rows of a data set that you're working with, we use what we call the nrow command. And then inside, you type in the name of your data set. So in case I run that, it is going to just give me the number of rows, which we've already seen within the environment that there are 100 observations. If you want to see the number of columns, still you just type ncol, and then inside you put the name of the for you to be able to see the number of columns. Okay. Sometimes there is also what we call exporting data. Okay. This would mainly come after doing data manipulation, because sometimes you could adjust certain things and you really want to capture them in your Excel file. So what happens is that we use the library read R, which we already installed. And so we just need to run it, and at the start, we are able to load it. So in here, we use a command write.csv. It is write.csv. So everything that we need, we put the arguments, we put them inside the brackets. So the first argument you put is, I'll elaborate more when we get to data manipulation if time allows. So we have my name of the data set, okay? And then, so the next thing is file. So you're telling R that now import it back into Excel and let it be as a CSV. So this, whatever you put here, it is going to be your file name. You can change, instead of diamond.csv, you can give it flow.csv, you can give it steven.csv or helen.csv. So, and when you run this particular line, when you go back into your folder, you'll be able to see the exported data set. So if I run that particular line, I'll not be able to see my results here. So I need to go back and check in the folder and check if it is there. I check the name that I've used, which is diamond.csv. Okay, let me first check in the chat. Are we on the same page? Your first overdose. No. Oh. No. You're saying one first. Okay, can you type in the chat in case you're lost? What are you, why not too fast? Too fast? Okay. I missed the exporting part. All right, let me re-explain the exporting. And, but I believe that the first ones are okay. So let me explain the exporting again, and then we pause a little bit on R, and we go back to our slides and we do a simple recap before we move on. I mentioned that sometimes maybe if you're having a data set within R, you can export a file from R and then back to Excel, whereby you can save it as a CSV, or you can export it as an Excel sheet. So, but we use a command. In this case, I've written it here, line 90, write.csv. Okay. So what happens is that within the write.csv, we write there our arguments. Now, what I want to move is that, let me show you this. Now, this is my diamond data set, okay? I've just clicked in the environment just to have a look. So now I want whatever I have here to be written now, to have it in Excel form. So how do I do that? I use a write.csv if I'm going to save it as a CSV. But I first put the name of my file, the name of my data set. In this case, I'm using Diamond. So make sure that you put the name of the data set that you want, the name of the data sets that you're using. Then the next argument, this is a comma. The next argument is file. So, and I say file equal to what, how do you want to see, how do you want to save your data set? For me, I said, oh, well, I can still use diamond.csv. So that's why I said diamond here, .csv in quotes. So if I run this line, I'm only going to see my output. If I go back and check in the folder where I'm working from, okay? If I don't want to save it as diamond, I can write there any name any name of interest. I can call it data.csv, such that when I go back in my folder where I'm working from, I'm able to check if that data is there. So in case I run this particular line, okay, when I check in my console, I don't see anything. But when you go back and open in the folder where you're working from, you'll be able to see that, data.csv or whatever name that you've you've used. Let me check in the chat. If you check in the folder where you're working from, have you managed to see the file that you've saved as a CSV? Please type, put a thumbs up or a smile emoji. No. Okay. We only have a few minutes. Okay, great. So what we're going to do for now, let me save my work such that I don't lose it. I can save that as well. And okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and then briefly share the PowerPoint, and we just use the remaining minutes and then we end. Okay, just a recap of what we've looked at today. I've some other features that you can check within your data sets are here. You can practice in the night when you, for example, I've mentioned about the number of rows, number of columns. Inside, you put the name of your data set. Call names, inside you put the name of your data set, and then it will be able to display for you the column names. We've worked through this. In case other important features that you can look at, we've seen how you can clean the console. If you don't sweep, you can use Ctrl+L, or you can use RM. Okay, so the other thing that I thought that we were going to cover it today, unfortunately we haven't, it is data manipulation. I've mentioned about that. Under data manipulation, just the theory bit, and then we'll get into the practicals later. You can create and add a variable within R. You can try it in your free time before we meet tomorrow, because you've got the R script. You can record an existing variable, okay? It's still under data manipulation. You can rename a column. You can subset your rows and columns. You can delete a column or remove it, or delete a row. You can deal with missing values, and then you can image data. At the same time, you can do descriptive analysis. For descriptive, we've done that, so we'll skip it. Okay. These ones will make much sense in case we do them practically within R. For example, how do you create a variable? Maybe if we go back to our, for the example, the diamond data set, you can sum the length and then the width and then create a different variable, or you can multiply. You can go ahead, maybe, for example, somebody was talking about how can you convert a continuous or a numerical variable to a categorical one. So we can as well do all that within data manipulation. So it will be better if we do it practically within R, and then you'll be able to see how do these things come about. Okay, Prof. Prof, I suggest I stop here and then we can resume from there tomorrow. Any comments? How can I get these slides? Please check in the Google Drive. That's where all the comments are. I don't want to start on something new on data manipulation. We can resume from there tomorrow, given that we only have little time left. Okay. Thomas, do you have anything that you want to share before we close?
Yeah, sorry, my line went off at some point. I just want to encourage participants not to give up. I mean, it's challenging to pick some of this concept for the first time, but we are going to continue repeating the same thing over and over again. But there also, you can go to Ruforum YouTube channel. You can pick up the what has been covered in the last 2 days, but also we had previous trainings that you can also get. There are lots of resources on YouTube. With the R, the main thing is you need to be able to have a strong spirit to fight. If you give up very easily, then it's going to defeat you. So it's just a matter of just the basic. Once you know the basic, the rest will actually be okay. That's all what I want to say. Thank you. But we are all doing, you're doing great, you people.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. Professor,
Helen,
any comment before we close?
Helen, also you give Prof. Rogerio to give closing remarks after Helen.
Sorry?
You give Prof. Rogerio the chance to for closing remarks after maybe Susan has finished.
Oh, yeah, I don't have any.
Please note that we are sharing the same link, the same link. We're just updating it with more information.
Okay. Thank you, participants. You've been so good and very active. In the background, I could see very interesting questions. Keep up the spirit. And as usual, practice. 30 minutes of practice every day will make you perfect in R. Have a good evening. Yeah. Right, Prof.
Yes, Prof. Rogerio, back to you.
Yes, to give you closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much to everybody. Thank you very much to facilitators. Thank you very much to the participants. I would like to call it to attention that you have to make sure that you have to emphasize that the training is being given by the Center of Excellence in Agri-Food System and Nutrition of Edward Montgomery University in partnership with Forum. This training is being funded by the World Bank. So make sure you know that, because at any time, the World Bank can contact you, given that you gave your contact. They may contact you to know whether you really attended this training. So make sure you know the name of who is offering the training, because you may be contacted to know whether you attended this training. So make sure you give your email address and provide your WhatsApp, because you may be contacted through email or through your WhatsApp or your cell phone number. Thank you very much for everybody. I hope we do our best to transform agriculture in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Yamungu, do you have something to say before we close?
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Rogerio. Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize what Prof. Rogerio said for the contact. Please, there are people who are providing their contact, but they are not giving the country code. So it would be better, because we need to have that country code so that it helps us to identify exactly. Of course, we can fill it, but it is better that you fill it from your side. So tomorrow, when we are sending you this form, please make sure you include the country code as you are filling the participation form. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. It has been great having you today. Have a good evening.
Before I close, I see people are asking for WhatsApp group. I wanted to inform the participants that the WhatsApp groups were formed by fellow colleagues who are training. So we want to encourage those people who form the WhatsApp groups to please share with us the joining link so that people can belong to the WhatsApp groups. We've been having people asking us about WhatsApp groups. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everyone.